Behind the grand walls of Buckingham Palace, where history and tradition have dictated life for centuries, an unsettling storm was brewing, one unlike anything the monarchy had ever faced. For generations, the palace had been more than a royal residence. It was a fortress of secrecy, an enduring symbol of authority that had withstood wars, betrayals, and scandals. But now, the illusion of control was beginning to slip, and the weight of history pressed harder than ever. The whispers started subtly, a murmur lost within the palace corridors. But soon, they turned into something impossible to ignore. The FBI, an American intelligence agency, had become involved in an investigation tied directly to the British monarchy. It was an unprecedented move, one that hinted at something far more serious than mere royal scrutiny. Official statements were carefully worded, vague enough to reveal nothing while suggesting everything. Yet the world had already caught the scent of something monumental. Leaked reports hinted at the existence of classified documents, mysterious objects with an unknown past, and a scandal that had long been buried. Until now. But why now? Why Buckingham Palace? And most intriguingly, why Princess Anne? For years, Princess Anne had been one of the monarchy's most steadfast figures. Hard-working, no-nonsense, and fiercely private. Unlike other royals who courted the spotlight, Anne preferred to operate behind the scenes, dedicating herself to duty without fanfare. Yet now, her private quarters, the very heart of her sanctuary, had become the center of an international inquiry. The implications were staggering. Speculation ran rampant. Was this a case of financial misconduct? A decades-old cover-up that could destroy the monarchy's reputation? Or was it something even darker? Something concealed within the palace walls for generations? The British monarchy had survived countless scandals before, from the tragic loss of Princess Diana to the disgrace of Prince Andrew. Buckingham Palace had perfected the art of damage control, emerging unscathed time and time again. But this time, silence wasn't enough. The usual tactics, denials, carefully curated distractions, and well-timed royal engagements were failing. The public was restless, and the media was relentless. And yet, Buckingham Palace remained eerily quiet. No denials, no confirmations, just an unsettling stillness that spoke volumes. But in a place like this, silence had always been the loudest response of all. The princess's secrets. What is Anne hiding? Buckingham Palace is more than just a royal home. It's a fortress built to protect some of the most closely guarded secrets in history. While the world admires its grand halls, gilded ceilings, and regal traditions, few realize the hidden truths buried beneath its foundation. Beyond the dazzling chandeliers and velvet-draped chambers lie heavily restricted corridors, underground tunnels, and classified vaults. These are not just relics of the past. They are silent witnesses to power struggles, betrayals, and alliances that could shake the monarchy to its core. Rumors have long circulated about the hidden tunnels snaking beneath the palace. Some say they connect to other royal estates, while others insist they lead to secret locations scattered across London, built as escape routes in times of crisis. But perhaps even more intriguing than the passageways themselves is what remains locked away in the palace archives. Sealed documents, intelligence reports, and classified agreements. Records so sensitive that their exposure could rewrite the very history of the crown. Then there's Princess Anne, an enigma in her own right. She was never the royal family's most public figure, but she was undoubtedly its most resilient. While her brothers faced scandals and her nephews battled tabloid drama, Anne remained steadfast, earning respect through decades of tireless service. Yet beneath that steely exterior, whispers persisted. Anne had always been fiercely protective of her privacy. Unlike other royals, she refused to let the press dictate her life, even banning cameras from her wedding to avoid media frenzy. But that same independence may have made her a target. Some suggest that her no-nonsense approach ruffled feathers within the palace, especially among those who preferred diplomacy over blunt honesty. Now, with the FBI's investigation zeroing in on her private quarters, questions swirl. What could they possibly be looking for? Some claim it's tied to missing intelligence files, documents that vanished during her decades of diplomatic work. Others speculate it's linked to undisclosed financial dealings, possibly involving offshore accounts or shadowy intermediaries. And then there are the darker theories, whispers of blackmail, espionage, or even a long-buried royal cover-up that Anne may have stumbled upon. Financial transactions that raised quiet suspicion before being erased. Alone, these incidents seemed insignificant. Together, they painted a troubling picture, one that pointed directly at Princess Anne. But why her? Unlike past royals, Anne had been meticulous, steering clear of controversy and maneuvering through palace politics with precision. Yet now, she found herself at the center of something far greater, something that couldn't simply be brushed aside. The deeper investigators dug, the more questions emerged. What was hidden behind the palace walls? Some believed it was a classified document, a relic from the royal archives that was never meant to be exposed. Others speculated it was tied to a secret intelligence operation, one that connected the monarchy to figures more powerful than the public could ever imagine. Then, the moment arrived. Operatives working under extreme secrecy stepped into Anne's private chambers, a space so restricted that even senior palace officials rarely entered. What they discovered wasn't routine, it wasn't expected, and whatever it was, it had the potential to change everything. Almost instantly, the cover-up began. The palace moved swiftly, official statements carefully crafted, denials rehearsed, emergency meetings held behind closed doors. The press was cautioned, and stories were buried. But no matter how tightly the palace tried to contain the situation, the world wasn't convinced. Because if this was truly nothing, why was Buckingham Palace scrambling to erase every trace of it? A throne in turmoil, secrets, scandals, and a fractured monarchy. At the heart of the storm, the British monarchy teeters on the edge of collapse. A royal family once bound by duty and tradition now finds itself divided, torn apart by years of unresolved tensions, scandalous revelations, and a past that refuses to be buried. The rift between Prince William and Prince Harry is no longer just speculation. It is an undeniable fracture that has reshaped the future of the crown. William, destined from birth to carry the weight of the monarchy, has remained unwavering in his duty. But Harry? He chose to walk away, rejecting the rigid traditions that dictated his every move. The world watched in fascination as their feud unfolded, accusations of betrayal, neglect, and even racism tearing apart the illusion of unity. With each revelation, the cracks in the monarchy deepened, exposing an institution struggling to keep its grip on power. And in the shadows of this turmoil stands Princess Anne, a figure both respected and enigmatic. To the public, she is the unshakable royal, the one who never faltered. But behind palace doors, some wonder, has she been hiding something all along? Internal strife is only part of the monarchy's growing crisis. Behind Buckingham Palace's grand facade, the walls are closing in. Allegations of bullying, leaked documents, whispers of betrayal. The palace, built on secrecy and control, now finds itself crumbling under the weight of its deceptions. Staff members, once loyal, now speak of toxic power struggles and hidden agendas. Dark secrets, buried for decades, threaten to be unearthed. And the royal family can no longer silence the voices demanding answers. As the monarchy fights to maintain its fragile image, a more ominous threat looms. The FBI's final report. For weeks, speculation has run rampant about what investigators have uncovered within the palace walls. Is this just another scandal to be swept under the rug? Or is the monarchy facing a reckoning unlike any before? The weight of history bears down heavily, and the future of the crown has never been more uncertain. What do you think? Can the palace bear the burden of its secrets? Or is this just the start of something bigger? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking revelations.